FluentCast. Real English, real conversations, real confidence. This is FluentCast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Diego and you are listening to FluentCast, the podcast where we explore how English actually works in the real world through stories, culture, music, and references you keep hearing but don't always get explained. And you know, when you listen to a song and you understand every word it says, but it still feels like something is missing. You understand partially, you don't fully get it. You know, I was scrolling through social media the other day and I got a message from a listener who said, Diego, I understand the words in the song, but I feel like I'm missing something. And that moment hit me because that is exactly what English is. It's a language full of secrets and references. You know the vocabulary, you know the grammar, and yet some songs and stories feel like completely a mystery, is slightly out of reach, that is a bit hard to fully understand. And today, we are going to talk about the opening track of Taylor's new album, The Life of a Showgirl. The first song, The Fate of Ophelia. I'm sure you have heard it. It's catchy, it's dancey, and there is a 400-year-old ghost in that song. We are going to talk about who Ophelia was, why she's everywhere in pop culture, and honestly, why Taylor might have chosen her to talk about her own life right now. And before we start, a quick reminder, if you enjoy this kind of episode, make sure you subscribe to FluentCast. New episodes every week, always focused on real English. So, let's get into the story. To understand the song, you have to understand the girl, Ophelia. Ophelia is a character from perhaps the most famous play in history, Hamlet, written by William Shakespeare. Now, I know you are thinking, Diego, Shakespeare is too difficult, the English is too old. Don't worry, we are going to break it down, I'll make it simple, and if you haven't read Hamlet, don't worry, most native speakers haven't either. But they know the story, they know the background, they know the vibe. And Ophelia. Imagine Ophelia. She is young, she's beautiful. Ophelia lives at a royal court. When I use the word court here, I'm not talking about the basketball court, I'm talking about royal court. To reside, to live within the royal court simply means that she lives in a kind of palace with the king and the queen. But the place where she lives isn't a fun place for her. The environment around her is political, it's very tense and controlled. Her father is powerful, her father tells her how to behave, her brother tells her what love should look like, and in this story she falls in love with Hamlet. The king sees that as an opportunity. The king uses her as a tool to spy on her boyfriend. And Hamlet becomes distant, erratic, cruel. Her life is basically a series of men telling her what to do. Ophelia's father, Polonius, uses her to spy on her boyfriend. Imagine that. Her brother gives her long lectures about protecting her virtue. And Hamlet? Well, there we go, the first toxic boyfriend in history. He is erratic, completely unpredictable. One minute he is writing her love letters, and the next he is telling her to go join a convent. Ophelia listens, she waits, she adjusts. Over time, she loses any real control over her own decisions. She doesn't argue, she doesn't leave, she just stays there, quietly, observing everything around her. Eventually, Ophelia goes mad. Okay, let's understand this. Ophelia doesn't fight. She doesn't live in a time where she can write songs about herself. She stays quiet while the world around her is getting louder, crazier. And Shakespeare gives her a truly tragic end. She loses her mind, she goes mad, she goes crazy, and she dies when she falls into a stream, a small river, while picking flowers. That image, the girl in the water, surrounded by flowers, tired, too tired to swim, that is where English speakers get the reference. This is what they mean when they say the fate of Ophelia. It's the tragedy of being silenced until you disappear. She drowned in the river. She died in the water. And this word matters. The word drown. She drowns. Yes, physically, as I said, she dies in water, but long before that, she is already drowning in something else. Other people's expectation. She's drowning in that expectation, the silence, the pressure, the confusion. And the water is just the final image. Let's listen to a short line from the song. If you heard it right, she says, I might have drowned in the melancholy. And to drown doesn't always mean in water. It means being submerged, overwhelmed, unable to breathe. And in English, you can drown in work, in debt, in noise, in sadness. Anytime that you feel like overwhelmed, you are unable to breathe, the environment is like surrounding you and suffocating you, you are drowning. How many times have you felt like drowning in emails to reply? As you get this idea, and at this point, using Ophelia as a reference, Ophelia stopped being just a character in Hamlet's story, and her name becomes a reference. You might ask, why Shakespeare? Why does Taylor Swift care about a play from the 1600s? And I would say it's because efficiency. Efficiency means doing something quickly and effectively. English culture reuses these stories like tools. Think about it. If Taylor Swift wanted to explain that she felt controlled by her family, pressured by the media, and sad about her boyfriend, she would have to write a 10-minute song just to explain the feeling. But she uses the name of Ophelia. She doesn't have to explain anything. The listener, if they know the background, immediately thinks, I understand. She feels trapped. She feels like she's losing her mind because of other people. So, when you hear the fate of Ophelia, it's shorthand, a whole story compressed into a name. Another line from the song. The song says, all that time I sat alone in my tower. This is another symbolism. A tower is high, separate, removed. You can see everything from a tower, but you are not really in anything. And Ophelia's position is similar. She is present but passive. She is involved but unheard. Surrounded, yet she feels isolated. Again, all this analogy is representing a feeling. On the surface, the song also sounds like it was written during a tense period in Taylor's life. Public attention, relationship pressure, the feeling of being watched while trying to stay intact. There has been speculation around her relationship with Travis Kelce, but what matters is that Ophelia gives the song a preloaded emotional shape. So if you're listening to the song, you know this context, you don't start from zero. Let's hear one more part in the song. She says, saved my heart from the fate of Ophelia. By singing this, Taylor is telling us that she walked away from the river. She saw the cold bed full of scorpions, another line in the song, and she chose to leave. This is where the song changes. This is the turning point. In the original Shakespeare play, Ophelia doesn't save herself. She dies. It's a tragedy. But in modern music, Taylor is telling her that she chose to leave. She's rewriting the end. I guess it's a huge lesson for all of us, honestly. Sometimes we feel like we are in a tower, we feel isolated, removed from the world. We feel all the pressure that is making us to feel overwhelmed, feel that we are going crazy, and we can choose to fight back, to have a voice, we can choose not to accept the situation.
Locked inside my memory, and only you possess the key. No longer drowning and deceived, all because you came for me. All that time I sat alone in my tower, you were just honing your powers. Now I can see.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about Shakespeare, we talked about Taylor Swift, and we had some important vocabulary during this whole conversation, like the word erratic that I used right in the beginning. I hope this helps you to understand the song. Next time you put on your headphones, you're gonna have more background to fully understand the lyrics. Before I go, I have a small request. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with one friend who is also learning English. Just one. It makes a huge difference for us at Fluent English Academy. So, that is Fluent Cast. I'm Diego, and thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next episode next week. Take care, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.
FluentCast is a production of Fluent English Academy. To learn English in a natural and practical way, visit www.fluentenglishacademy.com.br.